The J-20S twin-seat stealth fighter, a new variant of China's J-20 Mighty Dragon, has become a prominent part of Chinese state media and defense-focused propaganda in 2025. First revealed officially during the 2024 Zhuhai Airshow, the J-20S is portrayed as a sophisticated, multi-role platform with potential for cutting-edge missions like drone control, electronic warfare, and suppression of enemy air defenses. However, closer inspection reveals that this portrayal is largely speculative and lacks any substantiated proof of operational performance, technological reliability, or readiness for real combat. As China prepares for its Victory Day celebrations on September 3, the People's Liberation Army Air Force (PLAF) has been showcasing the J-20S alongside other platforms in rehearsals and controlled imagery leaks. This type of timed reveal is consistent with past Chinese efforts to promote prestige projects around nationalistic events. The goal is clear: present an image of technological parity with the West, particularly the United States, without revealing the underlying gaps in capability and combat readiness. The twin-seat design is unique among stealth fighters. While it could theoretically provide enhanced mission flexibility by allowing one pilot to fly the aircraft and another to manage electronic warfare systems, drone operations, or battlefield coordination, it introduces serious aerodynamic and structural compromises. Stealth aircraft are highly sensitive to airframe shaping and surface continuity. Adding a second canopy increases the aircraft's radar cross-section unless stealth treatments and geometry are precisely recalibrated, something China has not demonstrated at a production level. Additionally, the J-20S likely carries more weight due to the added crew station and systems, which imposes more demand on the engines. This would not be a concern if China had already mastered and fielded the WS-15, its long-promised high-thrust engine. However, the WS-15 remains stuck in development, and most current J-20s, including likely the J-20S, continue to use Russian-supplied Al-31F engines, which were not originally designed for stealth aircraft and underperform in high-altitude, high-speed engagements compared to U.S. engines like the F-119 or F-135. This reliance on older propulsion systems significantly undermines the aircraft's theoretical capabilities in real-world conditions. Chinese sources have emphasized a redesigned radome on the J-20S, which may house a next-generation AESA radar. Some speculators suggest this radar uses gallium nitride (GaN) components, which would provide higher output and improved resistance to thermal degradation. But as with many Chinese military technology claims, there is no open source or independent validation that such a radar is operational, let alone integrated into a functional kill chain with secure communications and weapons systems. Without robust data link capabilities, real-time targeting integration, or cooperative engagement features, radar performance alone means little in a contested battlespace. Another frequently cited feature is the under-nose electro-optical sensor, which visually resembles the electro-optical targeting system (EOTS) used in the F-35. Again, this appears to be a design mimic rather than a proven capability. No demonstrations have shown the J-20S successfully using such sensors in tracking, targeting, or strike roles. It's unknown whether this system has thermal resolution suitable for identifying targets in cluttered environments, or whether it can survive jamming, spoofing, or dynamic weather. Drone control is another area where the J-20S is being positioned by Chinese state commentators as a future-oriented asset. The theory is that the rear seat pilot could act as a drone controller in a loyal wingman setup, directing multiple semi-autonomous UAVs during missions. However, no publicly available test flights, formation drills, or exercises have shown any J-20 or J-20S aircraft commanding UAVs in real time. There are no confirmed data link systems, AI integrations, or sensor fusion systems that would allow a human operator to control multiple UAVs effectively from the cockpit in contested airspace. Countries like the US and Australia, by contrast, have already demonstrated these capabilities using the XQ-58 Valkyrie and MQ-28 Ghost Bat. Claims of the J-20S being used in electronic warfare and suppression of air defense missions also remain completely unsubstantiated. Dead suppression destruction of enemy air defenses requires more than stealth. It requires precision targeting of radar sources, integration with decoys or jamming pods, and coordination with strike aircraft. None of these systems have been displayed or confirmed on the J-20S. Furthermore, China's lack of combat experience raises questions about its capacity to integrate these missions across service branches or in dynamic battlefield conditions. The darker gray, Nearly black paint seen on recent J-20S images has been interpreted by some as a possible new radar-absorbent coating. But given the PLA's history of prioritizing visuals over functionality, this could just as easily be a cosmetic update intended to create the illusion of a new capability for Victory Day. Radar-absorbent materials are notoriously difficult to manufacture and maintain, especially in variable climates. Without verified field testing or maintenance cycle data, any supposed improvement in radar cross-section remains theoretical. What is most striking about the J-20S is how little of its reputation is based on performance data. There are no confirmed deployments, no participation in joint exercises with other air forces, no overseas basing, and no combat deployments. The aircraft has not been part of any known intercept mission, has not been tracked conducting operations near disputed airspace, and has not even been confirmed in large-scale internal combat simulations. In fact, the only roles where it has visibly appeared have been parades, air shows, and rehearsals for national events, environments where performance cannot be meaningfully assessed. This absence of operational data is not merely a lack of public information, it is an indicator of strategic use. China continues to unveil military platforms like the J-20S primarily for perception management. These projects are introduced to demonstrate technological progress to the domestic population, deter rivals by creating the illusion of capability, and counterbalance criticisms about continued reliance on foreign technologies. However, Western and neutral analysts who follow Chinese defense developments have consistently noted the wide gap between presentation and operational performance in such programs. Even the timeline of the J-20S tells a story of delay and cautious rollout. The concept of a twin-seat stealth aircraft was rumored as early as 2017 to 2018, with a first sighting in late 2021. It was not officially unveiled until late 2024, and in mid-2025, it still lacks confirmation of squadron-level deployment or combat readiness. For a country aggressively seeking air dominance, this slow and opaque development process reflects technological limitations and testing bottlenecks. Taken in full, the J-20S represents a clear example of the difference between technological ambition and verified capability. While its existence shows that China is willing to experiment with unconventional designs and invest in fifth-generation air combat platforms, there is no credible evidence that the J-20S has achieved parity with Western counterparts. It remains an experimental or limited-use platform used primarily for strategic communication and symbolic deterrence. Until the J-20S is seen operating in multinational environments, deployed in real missions, or subjected to stress testing in adverse conditions, its status as an operational fifth-generation combat aircraft is not credible. The real story is not one of technological triumph but one of an unproven system surrounded by layers of controlled messaging and exaggerated claims.